here in a few minutes, we're going to do a couples catchphrase.
Oh, Lord.
Which we'll talk about how funny this is.
And how heated it gets at their own game.
Yeah.
And you have counseling set up for us afterwards, right? Because it always ends up in a fight.
All right, but Penn obviously is from Channel 17 and NBC 17. So tell us there was just a story. I walked out, but I came back in and everybody was interested.
Right, well, it was Kim's idea. And this happened several months ago. We were driving to, where were we going? We may have been going to Florida. And as we were driving to Florida, we saw 18-wheelers, families of like 4, and everyone was going 65 miles an hour, and it seemed like half of them were texting while they were driving. And there's stories about this all the time, but Kim was like, you need to get a camera, and you need to bust these people.
Yeah.
And
so basically, we drove around 440, and he's hanging out the...
Not hanging out.
You're not hanging out.
No, we
You're
wanted to keep it a safe distance. I wanted to keep the camera in the car because the last thing we want to do is be more of a distraction to these people.
Right.
Because can you imagine I'm doing a story on texting while driving and the people look over at me and they crash their car? so we were very careful to keep a distance. But the stuff that we found on the Raleigh roadways was the video that you'll see. It's tonight at 11. I mean, I'll give you an example. There was a mother and her son looked like he was about 12 years old, and I was shooting from the side, and they were doing the exact same thing, and we counted 21 seconds where she either didn't look up at the road or barely looked up at the road and was punching buttons into her phone.
You know, there's a way. I mean, I saw, and I guess especially, do you guys have iPhones?
Yes.
Yeah. So the new iPhone that's out or coming out too, where you can just push a button and you can say, you know, text Jenny and tell her that I'll meet her at Applebee's tonight. Yeah. And then you just push another button and bang, it's done. Right. Versus, you know, what I do.
Yeah. But this is what I'm seeing. I mean, holding the phone up clearly, like, so that you know what you're doing. And so we do that. And we also spend a lot of time looking at why there aren't stricter laws and stricter enforcement of this. Because there's a lot of states who have done it. You know, we used to live in New York. They have a hands-free law that really cut down on accidents and made it safer.
And they will write you a ticket in a heartbeat if they see your phone.
No, in a way they kind of don't have any argument because a lot of the cops, they're sitting there with their right hand on their computer laptop in their car the whole time.
And in the laws, you're allowed as law enforcement to do it.
Of course you are.
They are. Yeah. The issue is that you can be doing this, you can be texting, and the cops can pull you over and you can say, no, I was just making a phone call. I was dialing a number. And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new bumper sticker? There's a bumper sticker I saw in Clayton. And it's basically a customized company that'll make How's My Teen Driving.
Yeah, no, it's actually it's a woman and her daughter. We did a story on it at NBC 17 who started that company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you agree to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you agree to do it, and you put Bob, you should think about this. It's a new company where you put your phone number on the sticker. And it says, call me if my teen is texting or driving erratically. And they put your phone number on there, not your name, but your phone number.
Right.
Yeah.
And holds them accountable.
All right, listen, I don't know if you knew about this, and I can't even remember the name of the company. I think they do it at, is it at Sprint? They have it. Remember we were going to do this thing last year with Text Don't Drive?
Verizon, a couple of Verizon locations have it where it's basically a cell blocker that you connect.
Have you heard about this?
Yes.
So you plug it in to where usually you take your car to the car dealer and they plug it in and they can tell you what the problem is with the car. With the same application down there, you plug in this little box and it will prevent you from texting while you're driving.
Oh. Does that include GPS and stuff like that as well? Because, you know, it's the same thing when you're trying to type in an address.
Yeah, but so here's the point. Every car should be it's in there. It should be, that's the way that it should be built, where it's in there now, and you can't drive the car unless you put your phone number in there. And then based on that, if you're going over 2 miles an hour, you shouldn't be able to text, right? I mean, that's a big problem. You're doing, I mean, right? Big problem.
The stats that I did, I looked at 500 cars, and 4% of them were just looking up at, like, all the time. Were obviously texting while driving. And if you extrapolate that, big word, and say there's 6.5 million people on the road in North Carolina, they spend about an hour a day on the road. That means you're between 90 and maybe 120 million hours of doing this statewide every year.
I'm as guilty as anybody else. Man.
Sure. You know why? Because it's just as dangerous as drunk driving, but it's not enforced nearly the same way that it is. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right, so it's tonight on
tonight at 11
o'clock.
Yeah, okay. There'll be little bits and pieces at 6 and 7, too.
NBC 17, so check that out and make sure that happens because, I mean, the plug that you put in
Yeah,
there.
that's a great idea.
And so you can do as a parent. So if your kid's about to start driving, you put it in there, you put their phone number in there, and you also can put your phone number in there. So if she's trying to text or whatever driving, it'll alert you that she's been doing that. And you can do it at the whatever speed level you want to. Because, I mean, 2 miles an hour, you still shouldn't be texting.
It'll
Right.
text the parent if it's been tampered
That's
with.
so awesome.
I'm telling you.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
should be popular. Very good. All right, so anything else special that's coming up? What are you doing, Kim? Let's talk more
Yeah,
about
talk to
you.
her.
What am I doing?
Yeah,
Well, I do the Rex on Call show.
yeah.
It's a monthly call-in
Yeah.
health education show. Awesome show. Video production. I have my own business. So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, I'm spinning a lot of plates, Mom.
All right, so when's the last argument the two of you guys had? Did you have one this morning on the way here? Or?
No, it's so funny. We don't see enough of each other to argue. This
really
is
helps
actually
us get along.
this is like alone time right now.
Yeah.
This is like a date.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that because you're opposite schedules?
Opposite schedules
Yeah.
and kids and yeah.
All right, so we were just talking a few minutes ago about how I cannot play games with Lou, especially like Pictionary, that was so popular, and we would get in the
dangerous.
biggest arguments.
That was
because of-
probably our last argument. Was
Right.
the last time we played board games.
Last time we had a game night was probably our last argument.
and because even with my kids, I play to win.
Right?
And so what I've done is, and I know it's my problem, but what I've done is I've raised two very competitive children, and so if we're playing and they win, they're like, yeah! They're screaming at the house. And Lou's like, Bob, I don't think that's the objective. I think you're just supposed to have fun with the family. I'm like, yeah,
No,
but
it's
I
to
lost.
win.
It is to win. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back, and Erica and I are going to play Oh Dear God with each
Oh,
other.
yeah.
And then Kim and Penn are going to play
And you
with
guys are
each other.
going down.
We probably will.
Honey, you
keep
better
on
not
playing.
screw this up.
Don't.
Suck it up. Lock it in. Come on.
So we're going to do a break. We'll come back and we'll play Pictionary, and so we'll do that next.
I don't want you talking to anyone during the break. I want you focusing.
No catchphrasing and driving.
Okay.
Can't play in the car.
Promise.
Only here on the show. Next, don't go away. Hang on.